Thank you for being here again. Today, we're going to be talking about how jewelers can use AI to transform their business, leveraging AI to enhance sales, marketing, and customer experience. We do these webinars every month, the second Thursday of every month, for our partnership with The Edge. So we typically, our topics could be broad or very specific sometimes, but we'll usually cover something related to Edge users. So Rodney's on our team, which I'll introduce here in just a minute, is going to be talking a little bit about how to use AI to help you with your Edge product data, descriptions, and stuff like that. So again, thanks for being here, and good afternoon to all of you. We're going to be going over a few different topics: the growing role of AI in jewelry, ways jewelers can use AI to enhance their business. We'll talk about like virtual try-ons and augmented reality. Like I said, we'll have a live demo of using AI for Edge product data. We're going to have another one of our experts go over a live demo of using AI for SEO and other things. Lots of things to cover there. We'll open it up for Q&A. Then we'll talk about next steps and we'll close it out. But I did want to mention, if anyone does have any questions throughout, I'm happy to answer them. I'll be facilitating the webinar, but Daniel and Rodney are going to be doing more of the live demos. So I'll be happy to answer any questions throughout. So feel free to type them into the Q&A or into the chat, whatever is more convenient for you. I'm Anthony Arechiga, VP of Sales and Marketing. Been doing this, helping jewelers for almost 2 decades now, as a VP of Sales and Marketing at GemFind, helping a lot of jewelers with all things digital, everything from websites to holistic digital marketing strategies that we've kind of learned and distilled over time to really help generate more business, both online and in store. And we love helping. So, we will, and we're happy to offer, free analysis. That's an offer we'll be kind of discussing at the end. I'll pull up our info at the end. Rodney Roberts. Rodney, if you want to introduce yourself. You're muted, Rodney.
Said sure. Hi guys, I'm Rodney. I've been working in the industry since 2007, so I've been around a little bit. I used to work with ARMS quite closely, and now I'm on the GemFind team. I'm working a lot with their data projects and sort of helping out with the development of things, particularly as we delve into these AI things. So I'm going to be happy to take you guys through some of what we've done in that space, and it's really exciting to me. I hope it's exciting to you as well.
Thanks, Rodney. And I would probably say that Rodney and Daniel are our two most AI gurus on our team. So we also have Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Daniel Rodriguez. I've been here at GemFind for quite a few years now. I've been doing SEO for at least 10, 15 years now. I always try to help jewelers to get better ways to increase their sales, their marketing, and their numbers, whether it's an e-commerce store or a physical retail store. So we're going to go here on how we can help you with the new tools in AI. You can leverage that traffic into your website.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. And most of you probably know by now, GemFind, we've been in the space for over 25 years. We specialize in helping jewelers with, all things digital, everything from, apps like a ring builder, Diamond Link. We'll talk about a virtual try-on app that we have as well. But, we build websites, custom websites, theme-based websites, all kind of things to support independent jewelry stores with their websites and digital marketing efforts. A couple of us at JCK Show, including Daniel and myself here. So we'll talk about the growing role of AI in jewelry. 73% of retailers use AI-powered technology for customer personalization. AI-driven businesses see a 30% increase in efficiency. AI enhances customer experience, optimizes operations, and boosts revenue. We'll talk about some of those things that help with that. This is an AI generated image. Sometimes they have like kind of weird text, but I do know a couple jewelers that I've talked to are now using AI by giving prompts to a couple AI tools that are good at generating images to give an idea of custom designs that they can then use their CAD program to design something custom. Rodney or Daniel, what are the better image generation AI tools that you guys have come across?
I know that the Leonardo AI is pretty good, but I think it's based on top of some other image platforms. Daniel, you may know a little bit better, kind of some of the ones that are behind the scenes.
I will say Pixaverse, Leonardo AI, there's DaVinci, ChatGPT, Canva. They're all always updating, and you can connect some of these tools together actually and get even better results.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you're going to go over in a little bit how to connect different tools together, which will be interesting, right? So looking forward to seeing that. Some ways jewelers can use AI to enhance their business. Virtual try-on. I'll kind of give an example of that, but it allows customers to try on rings, necklaces, bracelets, and earrings using their smartphones or a webcam in store or kiosks as well or online. And this enhances the online shopping experience, reduces hesitation, and increases conversion rates. Typically, when a consumer is browsing your website and they stay on it longer, the chance for conversion goes up quite a bit. So you really want to make sure that you have a high on page time, and these kind of things help improve that. It's a couple other ways that jewelers can use AI to enhance their businesses. Personalized shopping experience. AI analyzes customer preferences, past purchases, and browsing history to offer personalized product recommendations. There's different apps and stuff you can add onto your website that will optimize your website, merchandise your website, and change the experience based on how people are interacting. Also, AI chatbots and virtual assistants can guide customers in finding the perfect jewelry piece based on their style and budget. AI chatbots are pretty standard nowadays. It could answer a lot of questions that, and then transfer it over to a human if they can't find the answer, but you can kind of load it up with, frequently asked questions, and then it can also use intelligence to, give better answers over time. So those AI chatbots typically help a lot. Also, smart inventory management. AI predicts demand trends, helping jewelers stock the right items at the right time. Automated tracking of inventory reduces overstocking and stockouts, optimizing cash flow and supply chain efficiency. Also, product information generation. Again, Rodney's going to kind of talk about that, which is utilizing AI to generate product information. And that could be product titles, product descriptions, SEO for products. I mean, the list could go on. And by utilizing different APIs and connections, you can automate these processes in every one of these scenarios. And again, we'll give a demo of how some of that works to get your kind of wheels spinning. Also, AI-powered SEO and digital marketing. Content creation obviously is number one, simplest way to use AI for digital marketing. You can use it for blogs, you can use it for SEO content. Another way that is a good way to use AI for SEO is keyword research. Now that most of these tools can crawl the internet, you can ask for data from Google specifically, like how much search volume is there for a specific keyword? What is the keyword difficulty? Meaning how difficult is it to get ranked on that specific keyword? And you could probably find some ideas for keywords that are easy to get ranked on and have a lot of search volume by utilizing prompts in AI tools to give you that information. AI tools analyze customer behavior and optimize ad campaigns for better engagement and conversion. So when you're using Google Ads, AI is definitely like a big part of Google Ads nowadays with their Performance Max campaigns. You can also use AI to generate content for social media, like I said, product descriptions and blog posts, which can enhance organic reach. I don't know if Daniel, you were going to show the social media stuff today, but you could, it could create social media posts for
I
you.
will.
It could, yeah, okay, great. You can create a social media calendar. There's like so much you can do with utilizing AI, but obviously you have to use logic and common sense in the prompts that you put in. So it's not as straightforward as just, give me social media content. You've got to obviously use some thought and and some logic to put in there. Chatbots can handle customer inquiries 24/7, improving engagement and sales. You can also use AI for jewelry design and customization. We talked about that a little bit. And again, I talked to a couple of jewelers that now use it for just putting in some prompts into image generating tools based on a client likes, this vintage style ring that's halo or whatever it is with an old European cut diamond. And AI can help you generate that type of image based on those prompts that you put in. Fraud detection and security, AI can help detect fraudulent transactions. There's different apps and things like ClearSale and others that you can add to your website that uses AI to detect fraud. So definitely recommend some of those tools if you're doing or interested in doing e-commerce sales. AI-powered authentication tools verify the authenticity of diamonds and precious metals. So that's an interesting way to use AI. Predictive customer insights. Also, again, customer support. We've talked about that a little bit. And automated pricing optimization. AI can analyze competitor pricing. So that's a great way. Also, a lot of our clients are always asking, why is this product not converting, but this one is? Well, you can use AI to load information about that product, SKU numbers, and everything like that to determine what other e-commerce sites are selling these products for. So definitely something that could be very interesting to automate that process of like always having competitive pricing on your website. Dynamic pricing tools adjust prices based on seasonality, stock levels, and demand. Also, I've heard of a couple of jewelers using AI for jewelry appraisals and authentication. It's never gonna, I don't think this part's probably gonna replace a human potentially. I don't know, because, going to GIA school and everything like that, but that is another way that some jewelers are using AIs for their appraisals and authentication. What I did want to mention, the virtual try-on. There's a lot of tools out there, and we have a great tool that you can add on your website that you can load in your own products, rings, earrings, necklaces, watches. You can install an app and then have a AI virtual try-on to add on to that website. And users try it on with a smartphone or a webcam. And you can let customers play around with items and inquire or purchase products directly from the site. I think we have, I can't give the demo right now, but if you go to this demo, let me see if it pulls it in, maybe it will. Now it's because I'm using my webcam on the Zoom meeting, but this is an example of how it would appear on someone's finger if you wanted to use that virtual try-on. You can again load rings, earrings, necklaces, and watches into the system, and then you can see the product on your hand or around your neck. So those are some real interesting tools that is using AI and augmented reality. So we're going to pass this over to Rodney to go over the live demo of using AI for edge product data. Rodney, did you want to share your screen or?
Yeah, I think I better.
There you go.
All right. Are we seeing my screen?
Not yet.
Okay. How about now?
There we go.
Okay. So thank you, Anthony, for kind of going over the overview of all the powerful things that AI can do. What you'll notice is that a lot of companies, they've really been rushing to get AI into everything. You'll go to Gmail to reply to an email, and Gmail wants to write it for you. Go to any social media to make a comment, the AI wants to write it to you. And it feels like a big reason for the quick disbursement of AI into everything is that a lot of it's built onto API systems that make for fast and quick integration into software. So at GemFind, as we started investigating AI, we kind of took a different approach, and we're trying to, rather than just cram AI into anything and everything, we're trying to be thoughtful in our approach to make sure that we're being mindful of what it can and can't do and use it to arrive at a good result. So one of the first challenges that we took to AI to try and solve was product data. Because if, as you're seeing on my screen, this is the Edge system. Edge has been gracious enough to provide me with a demo copy of their software, and we work closely with them. So I'm going to use this for the demonstration. It's important to know, though, that it's not a requirement. Any data that you can give me in a CSV format, or even really any kind of spreadsheet format, we can get into the AI, we can manipulate data, and good chances we can get it back. If you have any questions about it, just reach out and we can look at what you got and see about it. But for this demo, we'll use Edge data. So as we move through Edge data, one of the first things that we have to do is we have to set up these templates to generate things like a web title, web descriptions, meta tags, and pieces like this to populate the data as it gets pushed over to Shopify. Because once it hits Shopify, we need to use this data to not only describe and advertise and sell the products, but also to organize, categorize, and maintain the product collections. So like in this example, you can see there's no data in here at the moment. Nothing at all. And I could go through, and Edge has got some great tools to help kind of facilitate the building of these descriptions, but they are heavily reliant on making sure that you got all of your details kind of filled out in your general tab, your stones tab. You've really got to make sure the data is good. So if over the years you've been very diligent in making sure that you use the fields for what they're for, and you've kept your data in very good, clean shape, you're going to reap some rewards now. Because if you've got solid data, the results you get out of the AI are going to be much better. If you don't have solid data, then the AI can help to clean that up a little bit for you. But more than ever, it's important to make sure that your data source is as good as possible. So it's a good reminder to encourage your team, particularly as they're receiving inventory, to make sure that they're detailing the details of the products correctly. All right, so this one right now, no detail. So what we're going to do is just go through a quick exercise where I'll go down and I'll use the utilities here. And I'll say, okay, let's dump all this data out. So I can go in here and say, all right, where will we put this data? Obviously, I've been playing around with it already. Test. Gives me a quick filter to make sure. So say there's about 7,000 items. Are you sure you want to do all that data out? And I'll say, yep, I'm sure. Okay, so it dumps it all out, and I can go look it up in the export folder. And then this file is going to essentially contain the data that I get from Edge. Okay, so you may have seen some of this before if you've done exports. But any one of these details in here, I can use to help me make better product titles, descriptions, and tags. Okay, so it's not a ton of fields. It's about, 27 or so in there, but it's going to be enough to do what I need it to do. Now, of course, when I pass stuff into AI, all these pricing details, I just pull them out because that's what I consider to be sensitive information, and I don't necessarily want to pass that detail into an AI. Because when you're working with an AI, you got to remember that there is, you don't want to pass sensitive information into it for the risk that it could accidentally be generated in a future response. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I can do that and save my file. All right, and in the interest of saving time, I'm not going to go through the whole process of processing that data. I've done it for us already prior to the call, so we'd be ready to go. But what would happen is you would send that data file to us. We would generate, some prompts and some sample. Usually we run about 50 to 100 products through as a sample to make sure you're happy with the results. And then we can run the entire product series through there. Pricing on it is about 10 cents per SKU. So very affordable, In this, you got 6,000 SKUs in there. That might cost you like right around $600 just to get, $700 to get all of that done. So I'll finish that one. And now you've sent the file to us, we've prepared it, and we're ready to import it. So the same type of thing happens where we just say, let's go do our diamond import. I'm going to go browse for a file. I'll grab this one. I'll say, okay, let's import it. And it's going to warn me. It says, hey, you're going to update all the database. Are you sure? I'll say yes. It says, hey, do you want to make a backup? I'm not going to do it because this is test data. But in the real world, you guys will always do a backup before you do this, okay? Always back up before you import data. I'm going to say no. And it's going to run through the products. Takes a few minutes to run through. Relatively quick, though, considering.
Did want to mention, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A. Jessica asked, can you send us a recording so I can refer back to this video when implementing this into our system? Sure, Jess. Yeah, we'll send that over after the webinar once we have the recording. Okay.
Okay, so the file is processed. Sorry, are there more questions? Do you want to answer some questions, or should we go to the next step?
Go ahead and go to the next step. If anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A, and we'll go ahead and just answer them throughout the webinar. Just for clarification, Rodney, so without seeing the process of going through the AI tool, what AI tool or how does that work exactly? I think you're kind of saving time here, but what is the step of importing all this product data into the AI tool?
I mean, I can kind of get through some of that if you like. It sits over here. I've got kind of an interface for our backend API. So it kind of goes through, uploading the file, creating prompts. A lot of this will get very boring very quickly. I can show you a little bit more kind of the development of the prompt. So like, for example, this is one that I've been kind of playing around with, a storyteller's jewelry narrative. And so the prompt ends up looking something like this. So I feed it a user prompt, and then I feed it some variables. And the variables, those will match up to your spreadsheet. So when you get your spreadsheet that you're ready to process, anything that's in this headers column, all of these, we take them, we copy them, and we do. And then now those are variables that are available for us in the prompt. Okay, so now I'm going to turn those into variables, and I'm going to decide what in here I actually want to pass in and what I don't. And then when I'm constructing the prompt, I do that and I call the variables. I always define what the variable is and what it actually contains, because just because, I've got in some of these like IT description, unless I tell it, hey, that's the item description, it's not clear. So I go through, I give some instructions about how to do it, what I need out of it, tell it to pass it back to me in some brackets so that my program can interpret it and pass it back. And if I go through and just kind of do it this way, I can show you kind of a preview of how that works out. So like if I grab this one, here's its variables that are going to get passed in. And if I run the AI on it, so this is through the back end. This is one of the tools that we use. It's called Anthropic, and they have the cloud AI models in there. And so the actual engine that I'm running this through is the Haiku engine. And the reason for that is speed, accuracy, performance. So you can see there's a lot that it actually spits back out to me. This is its whole thought process and how it arrived at my new product titles and descriptions. And so this is helpful for me if I need to go back and refine the prompt to try and kind of clean things up or make things work better. So it gives me kind of a step-by-step for everything that it's doing to make sure that it arrives at this. And then I end up with an AI product title in brackets so I can pass it back. And it says for this one, it's going to be Meridian of Ambition, a gentleman's golden signature. Now keep in mind that this prompt generation is to be kind of very, very descriptive, very storyteller. It's kind of in the style of I forget his name from Seinfeld, J. Peterman. So it's kind of very J. Peterman-like. So what you end up in here is, in the quiet moments between triumph and legacy, a man's ring speaks volumes, forged in 14-karat gold, weighted with purpose, crowned by a diamond that captures boardroom light like a hard-won memory. Not just an accessory, a testament. And that's the new description. So that one, it's a little bit out there. This is testing just kind of to see the creative capabilities of the AI. But in addition to this prompt, I've got tons of others that we kind of work on. So every data set that we pass in, we have to generate prompts for. Does that kind of answer what you're after, Anthony?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, appreciate that. There was a couple questions real quick. So Elena is asking, assuming the images exist on the system retrieved from, i.e. ARMS, otherwise they need uploaded in order to be downloaded into the system, I assume. It's about images for usage, I believe. Are you following?
No, not quite. I mean, I don't pass images into the AI just for the simple reason that I don't want the AI to consider an image. Because if everybody in this meeting right now was to look at the same ring, it might have kind of a white metal, it might kind of have a clear stone, it might have some side stones that were red. We could all come up with what we think that is, but without knowing the details of what that metal is, what that stone type is, we could be very wrong. So the image doesn't factor into the AI generation. If that didn't answer your question, clarify it a little bit in the chat, and I'll come back to it and try and clean that up, because I'm not sure I understand exactly what the question is, to be fair.
Okay, and one other question was, I think this is kind of more a general question from an anonymous attendee. The Edge is specifically to consolidate the jewelry data. Well, the Edge is like a point of sale system and inventory system. So that's used in store. You know, we're showing the Edge here just because, you know, this webinar is in partnership with the Edge point of sale system for jewelers. So we're showing how to edit your product information. If hopefully that answers your question.
But yeah, it'll work with other systems as well. You know, ARMS, it works with ARMS. It'll work with basically any way you can get me a CSV or Excel file. If it can come out of your system and go back into your system, we could probably work with it. And if you're not sure, you want some clarification, just reach out and we can get together and have a look at what data you have, and I can tell you for sure what we can do. All right, so we exported the data, then we imported the data. So let's go look and see what it looks like. If you remember at this chart, we started with this item and it had no web details at all. So now if I go to my website, I end up with a web title. It says Elysium 8mm black diamond band with 0.08 carat blue diamonds. So in these descriptions, they're not the J. Peterman descriptions. They're very much structured to be search engine optimized. So the descriptions will all be unique, or sorry, the titles will be unique, and then the descriptions will describe the product. And we're very, very strict on making sure that it's a very factual description because we don't want any problems. So the description comes out as elevate your style with a stunning Elysium black diamond band featuring a sleek 8mm width and accented with a 0.08 carats of sparkling blue diamonds. This band is a sophisticated addition to any jewelry collection. Crafted with precision, this piece is perfect for everyday wear or special occasions. Okay? And then it's also put in some web tags, some meta tags, so it's black diamond, blue diamond, band, and rings. And those can all be used to help create collections once it gets to the Shopify section. Okay, so that's really good. And if I hit next, you'll notice it just keeps going. For every item in the system, we've generated these results.
And just for context, as to step back, so the reason why we're showing this is, you know, we're a Shopify partner, so we help the Edge. We're an Edge integration partner, so we help Edge users with integrating the Edge with Shopify, so their products, so they don't have to do double data entry. It's like the products are going automatically to the website. They could be on the website within 5 minutes of adding a description here. If you're going to allow this item to be uploaded to Shopify. So that's the reason why we're going through this, is to show how, you know, if some jewelers, like they don't have all the data entry capabilities. So, you know, or they don't have the bandwidth. So this is a way to overcome that by using AI to generate your descriptions and product information.
Yeah, so it just is a very good, easy way, because ordinarily to move through these items, you essentially need to get into every item, check, make sure all your details were filled in, generate the title, make sure the title is right, mark it to, you know, unmark your never upload so that it's going to upload. It can just be a very time-consuming process. And so what we find is that if we're able to help jewelers get through this process quickly, very quickly, then that really helps them to onboard and get into pushing their inventory that's in their store onto their website. Because that's something that's just becoming more and more popular, is to feature the products that are actually in your store on your website, in addition to supplementing it with the virtual inventory through things like the Jewel Cloud. This process has already been in place. We've already run this against some of our partner data. So if you're using our Ring Builder app with either the Stellar or overnight mountings data in there, we've processed their settings data so that you're getting AI titles and descriptions, which are much better than what we've had before. If you want to have kind of a look at what that is, you can kind of see it over at our GemFind apps. So I've got it here. If you haven't seen already, we've redesigned the Ring Builder, so we have a new interface to it that's much more modern. And our product titles and descriptions for the data are much better now. And so that's for both the Stellar data and overnight mountings data. And as we work through here, we're trying to get more and more data improved in this way. So that's kind of some of that. We got the data out, got it back into Edge. Anthony, I'm going to kick it back over so you can share your screen for a second while we just make sure that I've covered what's on the slides in my slide deck.
Sure. Yeah, and again, if anyone has any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to type them in the Q&A. Be happy to answer those questions for you.
So AI up, maybe back one, I think. Okay, so basically what we're getting accurate descriptions based on the vendor data. So any vendor data, any data from your system, we can really help that out. We can generate the meta tags for collection management, which is very important. It becomes a really big deal, kind of regardless of which content management system you're using. But I'm particularly gearing that towards Shopify, which seems to be most popular at the moment. It also, when you run the data through, it corrects typos and spelling errors. So if over the time you have had some incorrect spelling or some lazy data entry, this is a great opportunity to clean that up. It also, because of the nature of the way that we build the product titles, they end up in a consistent format that makes it a lot easier to spot deviations when you're looking at your reports from the system. So I know that a lot of people have commented that after these have run, that the reports look much more uniform. And when you're at shows like JCK or when you're sitting with your vendors, they kind of appreciate that visual continuity. And the way that we've designed this is to really reach out, and Daniel will speak more to this, but it's a search engine optimized, because you can have the best website in the whole world, but if it's on page 2 of Google, you might not make any sales because people need to actually get to your website to make the sales. And again, the last point there was just that it is available for any data that we can get into a spreadsheet or CSV format. As long as I can get the data in, I can get it back out. Or sorry, I can get it out from your system and get it back in, then we should be able to be good to go. Anthony, if you'll advance the slide as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there was one question real quick. It was, can you add an example for what exactly you want in the title or descriptions? Is that like the formula you were showing in the beginning? Or is that something that we could potentially share with attendees, afterwards?
I mean,
Unless you have it available now.
but how we structure our search engines or our titles.
Yeah, exactly what you would want in the title and description.
I've got it around somewhere, but I'd have to go digging for it. So let me see. We're not looking at my screen, so I could probably go check real quick.
We could also send, a little recap with some of these items. If you have any of these questions, we can send them out in our email follow-up to this webinar as well.
Yeah, that might be good to kind of put it in there. And if the question was more, can you provide the AI an example of what you want the titles and descriptions to look like? Absolutely. That's part of the prompt generation is that you can give it examples. So you feed it in the variables and then how you would write it. And then it can help to match your style or your tone. We can also feed it in variables such as like maybe your location, or if you have a buyer of the items, we can put things in there. So it's like, oh, Lisa's favorite is, things like this, or I don't know. There's a lot that we can do to kind of normalize or regionalize the data as long as it's your data. So AI best practices, just a couple of things that we kind of work with as we go through the AI stuff is we don't share sensitive information with the AI. You noticed that before when I pulled the prices out. You don't want to put names in there, email addresses in there, API keys. A lot of times people will put those in there. Reason mainly being is that the way that an AI works is it's a large language model. And so they're always evaluating and using it to learn how to improve the AI. So they keep history of what you're asking it, what its responses are, things like that. And there is some slight possibility, although modern AIs are trying to go away from it, there's a possibility that content that you submit to the AI could be spit out in a response to somebody else's inquiry. So for those reasons, we're careful not to put any sensitive information into the AIs. We also want to be careful about token usage. The more complex the prompt that we put in, the more expensive it is to run the prompt. And that kind of depends also on the engine that you're running it through. It's also important to remember that AIs can hallucinate. Sometimes they'll just make stuff up. If they don't know, they don't really say they don't know. They just make stuff up. So there are some things that you can do, implementing fact checkers, implementing lower language temperature, because the temperature essentially is how far from the truth the AI is allowed to deviate to be creative. So keeping that lower reduces the hallucinations, but it is something you have to be mindful of. Then always, always, always say please and thank you to the AI because you never know. You really never do. So I always try to be very polite with the AI, just in case. And if at the end we've got some time, then I can get in and kind of show you guys some of like the co-pilot features and some image generation things. But I don't want to take up too much of the time. I want to make sure that we hear from Daniel because he's got a lot of really, really great things, very exciting things he's doing. So I'll turn it over to Daniel and I'll let him kind of blow your mind with what's going on the search engine stuff.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rodney.
No problem.
Daniel, did you want to read off any of this, or do you want to share your screen?
Yes, I'm really gonna paraphrase this because these are some of the steps we are going to go through. I'm gonna go on how to select a keyword, how to create a blog, how to create even a YouTube video and a blog and a page in your Facebook. Everything is gonna come from an automation. You don't really need to be doing much. Let me start with sharing my screen. If you have any questions at any point, please let us know. Every good SEO page, blog, collection start with a good SEO research. And here we're gonna go to SEMrush and we're gonna look for a keyword that aligns to your jewelry store or to the products you're selling, and we're gonna create content for this. I already selected diamond jewelry. I already click on questions, and we have all these questions. We're gonna go and grab a random one. How to clean platinum and diamond jewelry. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna move into our automation. Our automation tool we're using, it's called make.com. I already created the automation for you guys. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a Google spreadsheet. What this tool does is it creates content for you based on the input you add here. Right now, I just copied and paste, but I need this content to be proper sized and proper aligned. If not, it can create issues. So we are gonna paste our keyword and we're gonna just leave. This is the new keyword. I already tested this too. So this is gonna be the new keyword we're gonna target. How to clean platinum and diamond jewelry. We're gonna go connect our spreadsheet. I already went ahead, did all the connections. We're gonna go to ChatGPT and we're gonna tell ChatGPT, hey, please go and follow SEO practices for this specific keyword linked to this spreadsheet, right? Please write the content in HTML, create a list of links, So we give all the prompt. We give all more information. Do not add hashtags. Do not give me extra output that I didn't ask for. Specifically, content. Then we're going to go again to ChatGPT. We're going to create another connection. This is going to be connected to DALL-E. In this case, you can connect to multiple things as we were mentioning, like Leonardo AI, Pixaverse. There's multiple tools you can connect this. For this purpose, I'm using ChatGPT because it's the most common tool that it's available for everyone, and it's free. And then we're gonna call a HTTP GET. What is this? This is really a export of the file of the image. We're gonna export this image into an URL in a cloud, and then we're gonna import this image into WordPress. Why? Because WordPress cannot read content created by ChatGPT alone. So we need to put it in a cloud, create a URL so WordPress can read it and import it. After that, we are going to go and select, I'm going to make this bigger, create a post. Again, we're going to select our account. We created a website for this matter. We're going to add the title of the post, the content, on and on and on. And then what we want is we want to get a specific post, which is the one we just created. And with that data, we're going to push it all the way to Facebook to create a blog. So what we're doing here is we're creating a blog in WordPress and a post with that blog in Facebook at the same time. Okay. So for this purpose, I created this website called the Verston blog. We're testing multiple different APIs in here. The last is how to value diamond jewelry, which is this one here. So we just connected our tool and we're gonna let it run. When we let this run, it starts to hook up the Google spreadsheet with ChatGPT. You can tell ChatGPT is running right now. It's thinking. Okay, the content has been created. Now it's creating the image. It takes some time, so it's not immediately that everything happens. So we need to just lay back for a second. Boom, it created the image. It uploaded to the cloud. It's creating the image in WordPress. It created the post immediately, and it went to the post, and then boom. Only owners of the URL. So as you see, for example, here, the Facebook gave us an issue, but let's go and take a look at the website. So this was the last one. When we refresh, we have, oh, it created the same. So let's run it again. It can happen. So it's gonna create the content based on, here we go, how to create a platinum jewelry. So now it's creating the one I'm showing. When this happens, when you have some issues in your flow, you can do multiple things. You can just troubleshoot until you fix it, or you can separate the flows because it's going to start to grow and grow and grow and grow. That troubleshooting later, it might cause some issues. So what I did is I already went ahead and I connected the post that I created with a Facebook post. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run this so you can see it. It's going to run. It's looking for the post I created, and which it was how to value diamond jewelry, for example. And then we're going to go to the Facebook page that I created for you for this example. We're going to refresh. And just now, published by Make, it created a Facebook post based on the content we are creating here. Let's go back. Let's refresh. Got stuck in the same. Anyhow, the point is that it creates the content for you. All of these blogs, look at this. They're coming from the same API.
That's interesting.
So it's creating multiple content based on multiple keywords. Now, you can take this to a different level, like, and connect this to a YouTube channel, which I already did for you to show you. And it creates the blog. It makes it a video with content. In this case, I was doing the keyword, what color is amethyst? And this same tool, and I'm going to show you the flow, is going to create everything for you. Whether you just want to create a blog or you just want to upload Facebook posts in automatic, or if you want to go and create, let me look for that specific automation. But it does really, give me 1 second.
We have a couple questions.
Yes.
Jamie is asking, isn't Google cracking down on AI generated blogs?
Only if you create.
She said the blogs on Burstone blog are very low quality. How is this beneficial?
Well, it's really the matter is when you create duplicate content and you are just creating like random and you don't check the content, you need to create content that makes sense to the keyword, content that makes sense to the human, and you also need to interlink your pages, not just create random content. You need to make it look like a human.
Yeah. Additionally, I would say, Jamie, is you can use it for the bulk of the content, but you know, you're not going to ever want to get away from human interaction as well.
Yes.
So like if you use AI to write a blog, you should have a copywriter go in and alter it. That still save a ton of time for your SEO strategy. You know, so edit, you know, 20 to 30% of that blog rather than, again, writing the blog manually. You're still going to save a lot of time. That the blog that Daniel created, this is just for demonstration purposes.
Yes, it's not.
Yeah. Someone else asked, I noticed that
Oh,
it said
and
posted.
sorry, the content's all generated by the prompt. So really, the better the quality of the prompt, the better the quality of the content. And you know, if it's not up to your standards, which you know, it may for demo it probably isn't, but that's part of the refining process is getting it to have your tone, your voice, so it doesn't look so generic and you know, yeah. So for what it's worth, but particularly the
Yeah,
images.
it can sound like a human if you give the right prompts as well. You can give examples of your writing style. You know, you can it starts to learn too. It starts to learn your business. As you know, the AI learns, oh, this is for so and so jewelry store. Okay, this jewelry store does X, Y, and Z because I gave that prompt to them 30
So,
days ago. So they store that information.
kind of not. Technically,
Mhm.
supposedly, every instance that you do it, it starts kind of semi-fresh. So really, in order for it to hold that voice, you do need to include it in the prompt generation. But yeah, to Anthony's point, it sort of, as long as it's all one conversation, it learns from the previous conversation. So
There's a few other questions. I noticed that it said posted by name of the AI tool. Does it have to say this, or it can be posted by name of my company? Yeah,
It can be the name of the company.
Yeah,
It can be the
yeah,
name
you
of the
can.
company. Yeah. This was just for a quick example that I set up for you guys for this webinar. But you can edit this as you please. You just need to take the time and as Anthony mentioned, check the content is right, check the images are right. Because I know the images that AI is creating, if it includes text, it's gonna be weird for you to
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, jumbled words, but yeah. So I mean, again, you got to use AI where it makes sense. You got to use logic. Be a steward of your brand, all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. Like, but somebody did ask, does it post automatically?
I'm gonna show you something
This particular tool does post automatically. If you're worried about it not being in your right voice, or you don't have the right prompts, you can make it where you're just generating the blogs and you post them manually. But this tool that Daniel is showing is a automated way to post these blogs on your website, or through, like it just showed, through both on a Word blog and on Facebook. You can also do this through Shopify too, right, Daniel? Like you can optimize collections and different things you've done in the past.
correct. And for the first question for Jamie about the quality and if it's beneficial, look at what happened when we started posting all these blogs into this domain. This domain was acquired by someone back in the day. Since 2021, it was a zero. We started to put all this content, and it went from zero. Today, we are a solid 25. What is that? 17 domain authority. It went 17 points in domain authority and 25 on URL just for the homepage. Look at this, a couple of months. So,
and that's without any backlinks, right?
correct, and it's without backlinks. It's just adding content. And what is happening with this content is that other websites are finding me. Look at the referring domains. Other websites are finding me to link for my content. So it's beneficial. But to your point, yes, you need to really check the quality of the content you put out there. If you don't mind, just let it run, right? But if you do have a luxury brand, a like a branding to back up, yes, you still need a human to optimize these blogs to put some natural humanized content.
Yeah, a couple other questions. Elena asks, I find when using ChatGPT to write content for me, if I put the word natural, it will do a better job than letting it take off on its own, in my experience. Yeah, definitely.
And that's great feedback. Yeah, it very much it gives you what you ask for.
Mhm. All right.
Correct.
Let me see what else. There's a couple other questions. Let's see. Okay. Are you able to ask for a couple versions?
Yes. Yeah. You can create multiple versions. What you can do is you can it with this tool you can do whatever you want, right? Let me share my screen real quick again.
Oh, one other quick thing
Okay.
while you're at it is how often should this content be posted without overdoing it and getting negative attention from Google?
Here you can post it like here you can do it every like I don't know 1,000 minutes. It goes by minutes, so you can put it like every day, every 2 days, but it go by minutes. I don't know why, but if you want multiple variables, multiple posts, you another spreadsheet. Tell this thing add this content in row A, column B, row C, column D, and then you have all the ones you have, and at the end you just select the one you like.
Yeah, I think to the question of how many posts should you be doing, generally thinking I'd say probably like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like if you did three posts a day, that's probably enough to stay below the radar and enough to keep your people engaged. You know?
Correct.
Cool. Thanks, Daniel. Is there anything else on these slides that you wanted to review?
No, I'm good. If you guys have any question at any given time, please go ahead and let us know.
Gotcha. And these are the instructions that you followed, essentially the steps that you took.
Correct. Yes.
So
Yeah.
if anyone on this webinar would like a copy of these slides, feel free to email me. Again, feel free to type in any questions in the Q&A now at the moment. And just for the sake of time, I'll just mention, obviously AI is revolutionizing all retail essentially, but by enhancing customer experience, optimizing inventory, pricing, personalized marketing, and streamlining operations. So, from AI powered virtual try-ons and chatbots, jewelers can really leverage AI to increase efficiency and boost sales, stay ahead in an evolving market. By adopting AI-driven tools, jewelry businesses can improve engagement, reduce costs, and create seamless shopping experiences both online and in store. So feel free to contact us to explore some solutions for your store. We are offering a comprehensive digital analysis that goes over site speed, user experience, search engine positioning, Google ads and meta ads. We do a full competitor analysis, look at your social media. We can talk about different ways that AI can be injected here. Also, with the websites and if you're an edge user or, any other point of sale system, we do have this new system that Rodney's created, the Gem Text AI, that can help you write your product descriptions. And so if that's, something that you want to work on is integrating your point of sale system with your website, that's another thing we can, go over and discuss through our analysis. If you would like to take advantage of that, you can reach out to me at 800-373-4373, extension 115, or you can just email me, anthony@gemfind.com. If you want a copy of the slides or you want any of the information that we had discussed throughout the webinar, feel free to type those, go ahead, feel free to email me. Again, Anthony, ANTHONY@gemfind.com. If you have any other questions, feel free to type them in now. We have a few more minutes left, so happy to answer any other questions while we're here.
I've got a question. How do we do, guys? Score 1 to 10. How useful was this hour for you? Just so we can get some feedback for planning future ones. If you don't mind, throw it in the questions. 1 to 10. How did we do?
Ten from someone. Not
It's
an
good.
attendee. Thank you.
Great way to start. And also, if this just sparked a curiosity in you and you've got some AI thing that you're thinking of and you want to kind of just bounce it around or kick it around, reach out and we'll get in touch. We're always, you're on the front lines. So you're out there dealing with these things all day, every day. So if you got something that you can kind of throw our way and say, wouldn't this be great? I'd love to entertain that conversation and see if we can make something work for you.
Another person said 10, but I'm still terrified of AI.
Yeah, that's why you got to be polite to it. Please and thank you, just in case it is the Terminator. You never know.
Jason mentioned 10, prompting a lot of good thinking on my part. And then someone else said it was an informative webinar. You guys should do it frequently. Thank you for that. Yeah, would love to go back to this topic again. It seems there's so much that could be done. And, that was just like the tip of the iceberg. Again, we could get really granular. Don't want to bore everybody, but we can probably get a lot more detailed if we wanted to. But Rodney and Daniel, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Damon said thanks for the fun times. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for spending an hour of your afternoon with us. Daniel, again, thank you as well.
You're welcome, guys. Well, thank you for your time, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Everybody. Have a great
day,
day.
and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Take care.